What's up, Giants fans and football fans? Welcome to Giants Grit. This channel is for your review of the Giants game, an unbiased, irrational, sometimes irrational review without the theatrics. So basically, last night, Giants lost to the Cowboys 20-15. Overall, they played okay, but obviously not well enough to win. And again, not to make it the bashing Daniel Jones channel, but unfortunately, he's just a backup quarterback, a game manager, if you will. The guy just can't throw the ball, past 15 yards with any accuracy, velocity, or control. I think a lot of that has to do with his injuries, his previous injuries. He's coming off the ACL, a second neck injury. So anyway, but moving on. The interior defensive line, they didn't play well at all, except for Dexter Lawrence. And even Dex didn't have his usual solid game. When he was double teamed, they pretty much neutralized him. But when he was single blocked, he still put pressure and, made a lot of run stops even on himself. Penalties, there was a lot of penalties this game, but they seemed to help the Giants more than hurt them. The only one that I think really hurt them was tight end Daniel Bellinger got a 15-yard face mask when actually the Cowboy face masked him. Even the announcers pointed that out. So overall, not good enough to win. If we had some decent quarterbacking, they probably would have won. Dallas was reeling themselves. They gave up more rush yardage than anybody in the NFL, but they pretty much stopped the Giants easily. Giants had about 30-something yards, both running backs combined. Devin Singletary had, he had something terrible. He had like 28 yards on 24 carries, something ridiculous like that. And Tracy had only 3 or 4 yards on a couple carries himself. So overall, well enough to win, but if we had good quarterbacking, can't put it all on him. So let me get started with the offensive overview. Enough about Jones, but let's talk about the running backs. Devin Singletary, you can't ask too much of him. I mean, he almost fumbled again, but fortunately he was called down. But he was actually down, but still, you want him hanging on to that ball. He had a rough going just because he didn't get the run blocking. This was the worst Giants run blocking out of all 4 games this year. So unfortunately, they just couldn't get it going. Dallas, give them credit. Their D-line, they were holding up the offensive line. Nobody was getting through, and the Dallas linebackers were just able to run to the ball at will. So it was tough for Singletary or Tracy to get going. So Daniel Jones made a few runs on his own, but he's going to get hurt. I really wish they wouldn't call that for him. So, but anyway. Now, moving on to the tight ends. Theo Johnson just had 1 catch. There was mediocre blocking. Chris Manhertz, he had some okay blocking, but he also got a penalty. They're just not targeting the tight ends. I know they're keeping him in, but it would be nice if they would start targeting them. As far as the wide receivers, well, what can you say? Malik Neighbors is a star. He had a 39-yard play, the first passing play on 3rd down. It should have been a touchdown, but Jones didn't give him a good throw. He beat his guy clean. He was wide open. If Jones hits him in stride, it's an easy touchdown, but Malik had to turn around like he was a center fielder trying to catch it or a punt return. So he did what he can. People will blame, he did drop a 4th down pass in the 4th quarter in the final drive, but that was a super hard catch to do. He got his feet in, but Malik Neighbors, he had about 12 catches for 115 yards. And then Wan'Dale Robinson, he had 10 catches. He played really well. He did drop a couple, and he dropped a really critical one where on 3rd down, he caught it over the middle. I thought the DB made a play on the ball, but he just dropped it. He'd still be running. He probably would have scored the go-ahead touchdown, but you can only ask so much of Wan'Dale Robinson, and I feel like he's going to get hurt. He plays tougher than his body. He's a nice weapon. I mean, overall, I think he's like the 3rd best player on the Giants offense after Andrew Thomas and Malik Neighbors, of course. So, and Slayton caught a couple of passes. He was also missed. He ran a nice deep route, but Jones missed him. That was a free play, too, because Dallas was offsides. So he underthrew it. He also underthrew Malik Neighbors on another. It was kind of a post route in the first half. Jones just missed him. So again, this is not the bashing Daniel Jones, but Jones was serviceable as long as he doesn't have to throw the ball over 15, 20 yards. But, you know, the defense, you limit what they have to cover so they could just tee off. And, you know, Dallas's linebackers were free to run to the ball. Their secondary played pretty well. They kind of kept Neighbors in check. The announcers were saying that that basically after that 39-yarder, the first catch, he had like 11 catches for only, 70 or so yards. So they kept him in check. The Giants just got to go somewhere else besides Wandale and besides Neighbors. Slayton caught a couple of passes, none of consequence. Devin Singletary also caught a couple of passes and one catch by the tight end rookie Theo Johnson. Now the offensive line, it was a 50-50. They played really well. They pass blocked really well enough to win. If they had an above average quarterback back there, I think they would have won the game. The run blocking just was not good. The tight ends didn't seal the edges. Up the middle, Dallas's D was just stuffing it. So unfortunately, I don't even think they maybe with Daniel Jones' running, they got 40 yards, if that. So anyway, moving on to the defense. D-line, like I said earlier, except for Dexter Lawrence, and he had his quietest game of all 4 games, but not a single Giants interior defensive lineman made a play last night. And as far as the edge rushers, Kayvon Thibodeau played a good game. I thought he got a nice sack early in Dallas's last drive of the first half. Got a very nice sack, and he had a couple pressures, including a really nice pressure that I thought he was actually going to get to Dak Prescott. But he did make him make a bad throw. So that was on Dallas's second to last possession. So good play by him. And Brian Burns was quiet. After having a good game last week, he was quiet. He made one really nice tackle for loss, I think also on the second to last possession of Dallas. And but unfortunately not enough. It's weird because it's like they're getting there. They're just like a second behind. So hopefully they'll pick it up this year. I'm not as worried about them because I think they're not playing poorly. They're just not paying for what you expect of Brian Burns, how much we gave up, how much of a contract he's getting, and what we gave up for him trading for him. And Kayvon Thibodeau's the 5th pick of his draft class. So a lot more is expected of them other than they're playing okay. So, but I think they'll pick it up. Moving to the inside linebackers, Bobby Okereke, average game. Micah McFadden, they both have mediocre games. Dallas was able to run because interior linemen were getting through. Tight ends were getting through to the second level. Even wide receivers, they were able, even if they weren't getting blocks, they were just creating traffic that the Cowboys running backs were just able to pick up some yards. It was nuts. It just... Dexter Lawrence, again, was the only one who was really making tackles. So when your linebackers just, when they have to fight off blocks and can't freely run to the ball like the Cowboys linebackers were, they're not going to make plays. They're going to make plays down the field. So Dallas was able to run the ball effectively. Now, moving on to the secondary, I was impressed with the secondary. The corners played. Deonte Banks, he had a tough going against. He had a tough assignment. He's going against C.D. Lamb. C.D. Lamb's one of the top 5 receivers easily, if not top 3. He kind of held him in check, except he did get that touchdown, and that really was the difference in the game. Deonte Banks, he plays well. He covers great. He's fast. He's physical, almost too physical. He's a little too grabby, but he just does not have the ball skills. He just cannot make a play on the ball, and hopefully he'll improve. I just expected a little more, but again, it was against C.D. Lamb. He's not the reason they lost the game, but yeah, tough assignment against C.D. Lamb. Could have been worse. Now the second corner. Adoree Jackson was out and Drew Phillips were out for the game, unfortunately. But Cordell Flott played, I think, his best game as a Giant. He played practically the whole game. I think he played the whole game. I didn't see the snap count. And he played well. He made, I want to say, about 3 pass defenses. He tackled well. He had a couple of completions against him, but yeah, I was really pleased with his game. I'd give him a game ball for player on defense. He might have been the most standout. Him and Tibbs, I think, are the 2 best defensive players of this game, just, off of memory. So, and then as far as the safety play, Tyler Newblin played well. He tackled well. Jason Pinnock played, he had a quiet game, but the safeties played okay, except for the one obvious, on the CD Lamb touchdown, that was when there was an obvious safety blitz. So, and Dak Prescott easily read that, and unfortunately, Deontay Banks missed the tackle, and he's usually a good tackler. So, overall, secondary, I'd easily give them a C+. They played well enough to win. It was the interior defensive line that really, them and Jones kind of lost the game for him. So, as far as special teams play, hey, our new kicker, 5 for 5 on field goals, including, I believe, a 53-yarder, 52 or 53-yarder was the longest one. So, kudos to him for filling in and playing well. Kickoffs were nice. We punted a few times. Punting was fine. Eric Gray sucks as a kick returner. I think they should put Tracy back there, or put the new guy, I think it was our new punt returner, who also had one nice punt return. So overall, they had a serviceable game. They just, with better quarterbacking, a little bit better run blocking, and the interior defensive line has just got to get it done. See, the bar has been set so low with the Giants that I'm not even mad that, I'm just happy they didn't get blown out. It seems like we're always getting blown out against the Cowboys on primetime games. So we didn't get blown out. It was a close game up until the end, but unfortunately they lost. So anyways, on to next week. They got 10 days rest. They play the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. So let's go, Giants. Let's go, G-Men. Hope they win. Here we go again. Thank you, everybody. Please like and subscribe. Remember, there's a lot of crappy AI fan channels out there. So please, if you could watch my channel, I promise I'll get better. Just like the Giants, we'll both get better. Let's go, G-Men. Thanks, y'all.